Oh, hey, didn't see you there. Welcome to this week's episode of Grease a Garage Dirty Daily Driver. Today what we're going to do is we're going to install a return line onto our 1985 GMC C2500. It's something I should have done when we first put in the electric pump, but I was kind of being lazy and I wasn't sure how everything was going to work out, so I wanted to keep it as simple as possible. So we're going to do just a little routine maintenance on it here, plumb in this line, hook everything back up, and we should be good to go. Let's go around front, grab the truck, and bring it out back here so we can start the job. Okay, so what we're going to do is get this truck here fired up, and I'll show you guys what the problem is. When I turn on the electric fuel pump, you can hear it hammering there. So, what I'm hoping is that by putting in the original return line, it's going to take some of the pressure off that pump and just allow a continual circulating system. That way, it should hopefully quiet down the pump with less strain on it and should increase its lifespan. First thing we're going to do is we'll pop the hood, and I'll have you guys come take a look at what the current setup looks like, and then see exactly where we're going to be working and kind of what I'm figuring on doing here. I'll just pull her open here, and I'll see you guys inside there. Okay, let's have a look in here at the current fuel pressure regulator, and I'll kind of show you what's going on and then what I figure we're going to do. Come in here. So, currently, we have the feed coming in here, as it should be, and then we have it coming out here, going up to the carburetor. And as you can see, there's kind of a line tucked back here. This is the original return line, which used to hook up to where the mechanical pump would be down there. But this engine block is actually out of a 92, and they used electric pumps. So, what we're going to do is we're going to plumb this in where the pressure regulators or the pressure sight glass is sitting right now, and we're going to take that sight glass and put it in here on this auxiliary hole so we can actually read it, and then we can make our pressure adjustments and make sure everything's happy days. Okay, so the tools we're going to use today are pretty simple. Just some simple open-end box wrenches. We're going to use a screwdriver because the Allen keys I'm going to end up using fit into a screwdriver, so we get a little bit more torque on how we use them, which I prefer rather than messing with the L-shaped key. We're going to need a little bit of tape for the fittings, just to make sure we got a nice solid fit that doesn't leak. And then the fittings themselves. These are the fittings I picked up. They just screw together nice and easily. So basically, just looking at a 90 degree, which is going to come off that regulator, hook it to a reducer so we can bring it down to a one size to 3/8. We're going to reduce it one more time to a 1/4 inch diameter, because that's the diameter of the return line on this truck. Fire all this in, put it all together, tighten it down, and that should pretty well be it. Hold up here. This final 90, which has the fittings on it, on theory, you can put the gas line directly onto it, and these barbs are supposed to hold that rubber line solidly enough that it shouldn't leak or come loose. I never fully trust any system that's foolproof, so I will be putting on a small hose clamp just to hold everything in place and be like a little bit of an insurance policy. So we won't have any leaks when the thing is under pressure. So, one sort of bonus hold up is to use one of these magnetic trays. It's not really a necessity, and you can fully do any kind of jobs without them, but they make your life so much nicer because they keep everything close to where you're working, and you don't have any worry or fear of them spilling all over the place. So when you're working on an older vehicle and you may be a hair clumsy, it's probably the best way to get rid. Okay, first thing we want to do is we're going to take one of our wrenches here, and we're going to remove that sight glass down there. Now you may notice some gas will spill out. We're on a gravel driveway, so whatever gas that does manage to spill out of it is just going to help kill the weeds and keep the dust down in the summer. So kind of like a 2 birds and 1 stone kind of job, you know what I'm saying? Let's give her. This particular fitting happens to use a wrench sized in 7/16 of an inch. Not everything will be like that. You may have them in metric as well, but this is a GM, so pretty well everything here is imperial. Let's see. There you go. A little bit of excess gas came out, but nothing to worry about. Okay, now what we're going to do is remove this adapter here. Nothing too crazy. We'll just get on it with the wrench until it comes loose. And then pull her out of her home there. Happy days. Okay, so full disclosure here. This Teflon tape that I'm using to seal the threads, it's meant more for like household plumbing and all that. And it's not strictly meant for automotive fuel application. But I've used it for quite a while for all manner of thread locking application where oil and fuel is concerned, and I have never had one fail on me. So I wouldn't really call it a pro tip, but kind of take it as you will. Hillbilly pro tip. Now, since we're working on a 3/4 ton, and the ground clearance is a lot higher on this vehicle than most pickup trucks or most cars we've been working on, it comes up a fair ways. What we're going to do is we're going to use a Tom Cruise acting aid here, so we can get ourselves a little leg up, be taller than the leading lady, and actually be able to reach inside without having to crawl from underneath. If Tom Cruise can do it, so can we. Okay, so we got her taped up here. And now what we're going to do is, firstly, say thank you very much that it actually clears the frame rail, because I wasn't 100% sure it would. And thread it into the output portion here. Get it kind of situated, hand tight wise. Finish it off with our wrench. And make sure we got it aimed in the proper area. Just about there. Dang it. Just a little bit more. Whoop. Get it perfect 90 is what we're looking for. And that should be what we want. Happy days. Okay, so by now you kind of get the gist of it. Put tape around the fitting, put the fitting on the other fitting, tighten her down. I'm going to finish up getting the rest of these on in the 90, and then I'll have you guys come back here and have a look when we're ready to connect up the actual line. Bonus tool time. I'm going to use a pair of snips here because we've got a little bit too much fuel line, so we're going to trim off the excess and get a perfect fit. Okay, just kind of eyeball it there from the side. It's looking pretty good. So we're going to cut it off right about there. We'll stow this for another application later on, i.e. occupying space in the garbage. And now what we'll do is we'll put on that black ring, which is the seat. I had taken it off because I didn't want it to fall off and get lost. And we'll get our hose clamp in place here as well. So, seat goes on the base here. Hose clamp goes on to the line. And the line goes on to the fitting. Alright, happy days. Let me get that tightened up a little bit, and then we'll get on to the next part. Okay, next thing we're going to do is we're going to grab one of our Allen wrenches here, or Allen keys, and we're going to take that plug out and then put the sight glass where that plug was. So this plug has some kind of red gasket maker or thread lock on it. That's ideally what you should be using when you're doing this job, but Teflon tape has never let me down, so that's what we're going to end up using today to reinstall that sight glass. Okay, so we got that all installed there. And all that's left to do now is I'm going to go fire that truck up, and we'll check the system for leaks and see what the pressure looks like, and then we might play with the settings a little bit to get that pressure really dialed in so the carburetor's got enough fuel for when it needs it, and that the return line is functioning properly. Okay, we'll just fire it up here. We may have a belt issue we're going to have to address later, but as for now, it seems to be doing everything it wants to. Turn that pump on. We can still hear it. Let's go have a look and see what that pressure looks like. Maybe we got to turn her down a hair. Okay, so sight valve isn't really showing any reading, so I have a feeling that our pressure valve there is maybe kind of cooked. But it does appear to actually be returning fuel via the system, the excess fuel back to the tank. As you can hear here, there isn't really any hesitation on the acceleration, so I think we should be okay. Pretty much what we're going to do here. I'm going to turn the truck off, and then we can talk a little bit more about it. Well, all in all, it didn't really fix either of the problems we were having, except for that we actually do have fuel returning back there, so we're not entirely damning the system anymore. That being said, it looks like we're going to have to go back to the drawing board and start chasing that problem down a little more, because it could be maybe the mount bracket is loose, or there's some other problem there that the pump is making that much racket. Also, it looks like our sight regulator there is not really giving us a good reading, so maybe we have a bad side valve or something's not hooked up proper. So we'll have a double check there. But I figure for today, that's about it. We're going to take it for a little drive and see if we notice any change in the way it was handling when we try to accelerate. And I'll have you guys come along for that. Oh, hey, you're still here. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to head out for a little drive here just to give her a test drive. And you're welcome to tag along if you want to. If not, I want to say thank you so much for watching this week's episode. We'll be back next week with another episode. I think we're going to do a little bit more work to this red truck, so we might see her coming up here again. If you want to, please like, share, subscribe, leave some comments and feedback down below. I'm always happy to hear from what you guys are interested in seeing and what you guys like to see in the future. And if not, I hope you guys all have a good day. Take care, and we'll see you guys next week. And stick around if you guys want to go for a little ride. Oh, hey, didn't see you there. Welcome to this. Whoops.
Okay. Cut.
Man, I'm looking at the gauges here. You can see like this is bad. Clock doesn't work. Temperature gauges doesn't work. Fuel pressure gauge, it's kind of doing what it needs to be, but I'm not really trusting it. The voltage one is kind of all over. This one never hardly works because like I haven't replaced the part there. This thing I kind of trusted, I kind of don't. Even the fuzzy dice are broken. Like, I don't know. One day though, one day this truck will be fixed. Ooh,